Hello, 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 everybody. This is Laura Key. I am the Realty Goddess of Los Angeles, California. I help to establish the community one house at a time. Welcome, everybody. Guys, please make sure that you share this out. Share it out with your friends and then come back and share it out on Twitter and your other platforms. Today, we are going to talk about something pretty serious, and a lot of people are having trouble understanding what is going on when it comes to. Hi, Andy. I was just thinking of you, sweetie. I'm going to reach out to you because I was on me. I should have reached out to you. Um, but we're going to talk about evictions during COVID. We have been through a couple of phases and waves in real estate with the coronavirus. And there are many people suffering who are not able to pay their rent or their mortgage. Today, we are going to talk about the CDC and what their suggestions are. This does not mean that this is for every state, okay? Each state also has their own guidelines. Here in Los Angeles, definitely they have some things going on, but the overall recommendation is from the CDC. So let's talk about it. On September the 4th, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, that is the CDC, extended the eviction moratorium, moratorium is really, through the end of this year, which is December 31st, 2020. But it does not happen automatically, guys. This requires that you send a form to your landlord in order for this to be enacted. So there, you must be able to do something on your own. You just can't fall back on it and say, well, I just can't pay rent. There's more steps to it. So here's what else you need to know so that you can halt evictions, or how you can take advantage of this while this is going on. Yes, there is a lot of controversy around this because people can't pay their rents, but in turn, land homeowners who are renting these properties are also struggling. But we'll tackle that part on another day. Let's just make sure that we absolutely try to help you the best that we can. Preceding this eviction, this temporary eviction halt, the White House declared that it was working to stop evictions. And in addition, at that time, the CDC signed a declaration on September 2nd that noted that the high eviction rates would increase the spread of coronavirus. We are not out of this woods. I don't care what anybody tells you right now. We're not out of the woods. You need to be a good human. Do what you need to do, guys. We wouldn't be in this mess this long if we all would have just been good humans. I'm not talking politics right now, right? Right? Andy, you're right. It's a catch-22. Wow, your apartment manager is struggling too. See, it's just crazy out here. I'm not talking to you on a politics level. I want you to understand that. I am talking to you as a good human, pandemic citizen. Okay? So politics will not be talked about in this broadcast. I just won't do it. Right now, my concern is people being evicted and not having anywhere to go. LA especially already has too many people living in their cars or living out of hotels and motels. So we want to avoid that, okay? So let's go back. On September 2nd, the CDC director at that time noted that eviction rates would increase the spread of coronavirus, okay? Because we're going to see the next big wave. Hi, MTG. Thanks for coming in. Then 2 days later, the CDC and the Department of Health, HHS, released a document issuing a temporary halt in residential evictions, okay? So that is like upper level. The order was issued under the section of 361 of the Public Health Act related to the resolutions to control communicable diseases. And coronavirus is a communicable disease. Okay, it's as simple as that. The order was issued under that directive. However, in order to take advantage of any of this, you must check your eligibility and then fill out a declaration form from the CDC. And you can Google that eviction declaration and go to their page and download that form. I'm pretty sure many states also have that form on their website as well. The eligibility requirements are as followed. Okay, pay real close attention. You have exhausted all governmental rental and housing benefit opportunities. Each city, each state in the United States of America has something in place. If they do not have it in place, then you have to go to this level. But I'm pretty sure that most of them do. I know that Los Angeles does. Hi, Terry. Good to see you, sweetie. So that's the first one. You have to have exhausted all governmental rental and benefit opportunities. Okay. Number 2, expect to earn at least $99,000 or less as a single person. So if you're making over $100,000, you may not qualify for this. Hi, Valerie. Good to see you. And thank you for the share. Expect to earn at least $198,000 or less if you're filing joint income. So over $200,000 for a joint income would not be eligible. Okay, you cannot pay rent, included cannot pay rent, include substantial loss of income, loss of hours, layoffs, medical expenses that exceed 7% of someone's adjusted income for the year. So you have to prove that you cannot pay this. You have to prove that you have lost your job. Hi, good to see you, Dee. Good to see you. That you have lost your job, or you have lost wages, or your hours have been cut. That's really easy to prove, okay? So all you have to do is have that paperwork together to put in. And then you also have to show that you've been attempting to use funds other than non-discretionary expenses to pay for your houses, okay? That to me seems like it's a little gray area. But here's my thought. A closed mouth never, ever gets fed. If you're unsure, why not apply anyway and get clarification? I'm going to tell you right now, the hotlines and stuff are absolutely crazy. You can't get through to a lot of things right now. So go ahead and try. Go to the website. See what they mean by that. Google what you mean. And if you fall in these categories and you're having trouble making your rent, you need to go ahead and apply. Okay? You should also be aware that according to the form that you're going to be filling out, residential evictions do not include foreclosures on home mortgages, and you still may be evicted for reasons other than paying your rent or making a house payment. So guys, what does that mean? Break it down, Lala. If your owner of your home is struggling and he can't pay and there's a foreclosure going on too, this could trickle down to you. So we really do need something in place for owners as well. So please know that it's just because you fill out these forms doesn't mean that you cannot be evicted for other situations that may be going on, okay? In addition to that, you better not lie about any criminal offenses on this application. They will find out and they will not help you. Yes, they will dig into your past. They most likely will see if you have a criminal history in order for you to qualify. Now, this has caused a lot of problems with homeowners, and a few homeowners have already sued the government based on the CDC order. I do not know how that's going to turn out. My personal opinion is you cannot control pandemics. What the hell are you going to do? This is out of our control. It's not like someone came and said, coronavirus, I'm throwing it in your house and your house only. It doesn't work that way. don't know how that's going to pan out. My topic for you today is, if you're struggling, how you can get some help, okay? The government is going to take care of that. They're going to look at that. But the first lawsuit came from a Virginia landlord who sued the U.S. government because he said the CDC order meant that he could not evict one of his tenants according to a complaint. Now, I don't know how that's going to go out. I really don't. But here's what you have to do. Remember, you have to apply for this accordingly. You have to make sure that you qualify for everything that we talked about underneath those guidelines. And a closed mouth never gets fed. So if you're unsure, apply any doggone way, because that's what you need to do, okay? There is evidence that there are spiking evictions right now. Matter of fact, there are some people who are struggling in Los Angeles. I keep saying Los Angeles because that's where I live. That are, still being threatened with evictions and eviction notices on their doors. Everything seems to be in a gray or dark gray area right now. And then you have some landlords who are willing to help their tenants in any way possible. But like I said, if you don't ask, you don't know, right? Check this out. Cal Matters reported, that's a local area for California. That's a local media outlet. They reported in August that there were more than 1,600 people that had been evicted in California since the pandemic began. And a lot of the sergeants and sheriff's departments are working with the county attorney and a publicly elected sheriffs to determine if that performing evictions would be a violation against the state's shelter-in-place order. So the shelter-in-place order implies that it's a public safety issue to have people out and about. It's still on here in Los Angeles, although you wouldn't know it in some areas. I don't go out unless I absolutely have to. And when I do, I put my mask on. And when I have to show houses, I have gloves, I have booties, I have sanitizer. I have it for me and I have it for my clients. But if you don't have to go out, we are still in shelter-in-place mode. Okay, so the sheriffs are also like, is this going to cause any problems with us in the future? Is this going to violate what our shelter-in-place orders are? So you see how there are so many levels to this right now that you must pay attention to. You just can't turn a blind eye. Now, the shelter-in-place order implies that it's a public safety issue to have people out and about, period. And certainly evicting people and people out looking for rentals or whatnot, or making them homeless, is not in line with our shelter in place, okay? So there's so much going on right now. But without eviction suspensions, the Aspen Institute estimated that there would be 30 to 40 million people that would be at risk of eviction by the end of September. Now, I'm broadcasting this on September 21st. Guys, that means the end of this month. So that's why I felt like it was really critical to come on and discuss this with you. And you may think so, Stephen. But if it does come, me personally, I don't trust it. But as I said earlier in my broadcast, I will not be talking any kind of politics, because I think that just makes things darker and more confusing. I want to make sure that I give you the facts for today so that you know what to do. We are currently working on, I know that the National Association of Realtors are working on some things right now that can possibly help. But I have also been told that those who got scared and went ahead and took forbearances on their homes, this is not the rental side, this is the ownership side, many of them are in trouble, or they decided that it wasn't good for them and still continued to pay if they could. So there's a lot of gray areas going on right now, but my main concern is you if you are struggling. So let's do a quick recap. The CDC said that we need an eviction moratorium to the end of 2020. What happens after that, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're going to address that. But there are procedures that you must follow in order to fall unto the protection of these eviction guidelines. And one, you have to have exhausted all governmental rental or housing benefits currently. Two, you have to earn 99,000 or less for a single person. Three, yeah, medicine true, Stephen, but I'm just not sure right now how I feel about that. And I'm just being honest. I've always been honest on my broadcast. I just don't know how I feel about this vaccine. I just feel like there's too much going back and forth. Three, if you are married, filing jointly, you have to make less than 198,000 per year. You cannot pay rent. If you can't pay rent, you have to show that you have a loss of income, your job, wages, or medical expenses. You need to prove that. And finally, you have to make sure that you've been attempting to use funds other than non-discretionary expenses to pay for housing. Now, here in California, housing is very, very expensive. We already struggle here. So I am telling you right now, do not let this get on top of you if you cannot pay. It will be too hard for you to play catch up with paperwork. If you need to file for this now, file now. But this CDC covers all states. So that's why I'm coming on and talking about nationally and not just California, but with highlights with California. So I hope that helped to lessen some of the confusion that is going on right now. We are still going to have confusion. We're going to have a lot of confusion, but we're not out of the woods yet. We're not out of the woods yet. So this is just to help you see what's going on and get through the hoopla of who's saying this and who's doing what and who's responsible. Look, we are where we are right now, and I want shelter over your head. So I hope that helps. Please share this out with anyone that you may think will help. I'm grateful for you being here today. I'm grateful for the shares, and thank you for your time. My name is Laura Key. I am the Realty Goddess of Los Angeles, California, and I help to establish the community one house at a time. I wish you nothing but love, light, and blessings. Why not go out on a limb? Isn't that where the fruit is? Yeah, it is. Sugar. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.